If you take a look here, this is all that's left of a Fort Worth man's car. So that black shell actually used to be a Camaro ZL1. It was stolen right out of his apartment complex parking garage. And weeks later, cops found it completely stripped on the side of a road in Dallas County. The CBS I-team has been digging into the growing number of auto thefts all across the Metroplex. And tonight, Ginger Allen is showing us some of the challenges facing detectives and how you can keep your car safe.
So I'm about to go up a huge ramp. Nobody freak out.
We're riding with members of the DPD Auto Theft Task Force. Sergeant Brian Roden is taking us to a recent crime scene. He says there was a chop shop in this building just a few weeks ago.
Up here. Hang on.
Up we go onto the second level of a legitimate business south of downtown, just a few blocks from the Dallas Zoo and Bishop Arts District. Roden says a man called DPD after tracking his stolen van here.
That was kind of strange when we came up that ramp. You couldn't see what was at the top.
Yeah.
So we're in the middle of the city, but we still come up this ramp, and this is kind of hidden up here.
Yes.
The task force got a search warrant for the location, a place investigators say they found filled with vehicles and parts. Detectives say they discovered evidence of at least 50 stolen cars and trucks that had passed through this property.
There was engines here, dismantled, transmissions taken from the engines. There was, doors. Ain't no stopping now.
Roden says chop shops can be set up anywhere, tucked into backyards and businesses, hidden along country roads, or like the one we just saw above a busy street. Stolen vehicles are brought back to the DPD impound lot, along with cars from crashes, fires, parking violations, and other crimes. There are thousands of vehicles here, but they represent just a fraction of those stolen every year. The I-team analyzed 5 years' worth of reports from across North Texas and found vehicle thefts up in most cities. While some police departments reported 100, 200, or 300% increases, nowhere is the problem bigger than in Dallas, which saw more than 13,000 cars and trucks stolen last year. That's more than every other police agency in DFW combined. Fort Worth came in second with just over 3,000, followed by Arlington, Garland, and then Irving.
Auto theft has always been an issue.
Major James Lewis says the current spike can be traced back to the pandemic, when supply chain issues drove up prices of new and used cars and their parts.
It's harder to get the parts that you need. Well, when that occurs, the parts actually become more valuable. And when those parts become more valuable, the risk involved in stealing those vehicles becomes, to some individuals, more worth the chance.
That's why business is booming for chop shops and why police need your help to find them.
Hey, there's a building over here. I'm always hearing noises all times of the night. Sounds like, air wrenches and stuff running. Hey, there's a building over here. There's always cars coming and going all times of the day. That kind of allows us to focus in on those areas and take a look and say, is that something we need to explore further?
Back in the truck.
I want to avoid places like that.
Next, the task force drove us into a common spot for theft, a parking garage. Here, we learned the best ways to keep your car safe. Roden says you want to leave your car close to lights, cameras, and action.
You try to park where there's a lot of other people around, not off by yourself.
Crowds are good, clutter is not. You don't want to give criminals a cover story.
I wouldn't park right by all that stuff right there, the clutter or the mechanic stuff or whatever that is, because it looks typical for somebody to go over there.
And pay attention to how you pull into the parking space.
I always try to, if possible, back in.
You want your windshield to face out. He says that can make it more difficult for thieves to disguise what they're doing. It's all about making your car too much trouble to steal.
And if you think your factory GPS system will help, well, don't be fooled. Detectives say that's often one of the first things the thieves will disable. It's actually better to buy an aftermarket tracking device or even a wheel lock. And while none of those will make it foolproof, they could slow down or deter a thief or help officers find your vehicle if it is stolen. I'm Ginger Allen for CBS News Texas.